Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another Mrdoctorwhofan13's video, and today I am going to be giving my first impressions on Doctor Who, Series 8, Episode 10, In the Forest of the Night, which was written by Frank Cottrell Boyce and directed by Sherry Folkson. Now, going into this episode, as with every writer, I had, neutral expectations, but I had particularly high expectations for this one because from what I've heard, Frank Cottrell Boyce is a brilliant writer. So, yeah. So, what did I think of, although I was a bit sceptical about, there being kids in, because, kids in Doctor Who, the revived series at least, in stories like Nightmare in Silver and Kill the Moon, haven't all proved to be all that well written. So, what did I think of In the Forest of the Night? Solid. Pretty good. I liked this story. I thought I would find it enjoyable. I never got bored, and there was always something that kept me engaged. Now, the basic premise of the episode was really, really intriguing. I really liked the fact that, London had been taken over by this forest and everything. And I really found it, interesting that London had been taken over by this forest, and everything had just sorry, I'm in a brain fart here. I don't know what to say. Whatever. I like the premise. Although, how Coal Hill School can be sleeping over at the museum, no idea. I have no idea. So, immediately, we're going to get this over with now. Capaldi and Coleman, brilliant in the roles of the Doctor and Clara, as per usual. Capaldi is still the best Doctor of the new series, I think. The way he worked with the kids was just brilliant, and it was really nice to see Danny Pink sort of take the lead with the group of kids and Clara, so yeah. Like, oh, come on team. And it was quite funny to see, the kids say, oh, stop calling us team. Now, we've seen this. Now, I think we have seen stuff like this done before in previous stories. Like the Doctor, the Widow and the Wardrobe, for example. Like, the trees talking and everything. But I think what makes it work better here is that the trees actually have a motivation. Well, not a motivation. They're basically there to protect Earth. And Maeve can, the kid Maeve, she can talk to the trees, and it was also really, really, one thing I really wish there would have been more of those, the animals, because they were in a lot of the pre-release hype of the episode, like, the wolves and the tiger and everything. I found that really, interesting, and I was hoping to see more of them, but, yeah, they were in one scene, kind of disappointed. Although the wolves were really sinister and threatening. And Danny Pink actually did something here. He saved the Doctor, Clara and Maeve from a tiger with a torch. Which I thought was very, at least he did something. Although that's something he could have done a bit more. But anyway. I really, really like Danny Pink in this episode. The relationship between him and Clara. Clara wasn't being a bitch to him like she had in previous stories like Listen, the Caretaker and Flatline, so yeah. Although I am slightly surprised that Danny didn't get more pissed off at Clara, not telling, Clara lying to him, but that's just a nitpick, but yeah. So, what else? What else did I like? The kids, I actually had mixed feelings on, to be honest. Because, they were better written here I mean, Frank Cottrell Boyce, he can write children in Doctor Who much better than Neil Gaiman or Peter Harness could in Nightmare and Silver and Kill Them respectively. But I don't know. I like the fact that Frank tried to give them personality traits, but like there were certain points where I think that, you know, mentioning of the traits was just really shoehorned in and forced dialogue moments from the kids. Although the child actors, they cast them well, I think, but I don't know. The kids were written good, but they could have been written better, if you know what I mean. The direction by Sherry Folkson, right off the bat, excellent direction by Sherry Folkson here. Female director, first one we've had since Fiona Cumming, I think, unless I'm wrong. But hang on. Tracy Simpson was a producer, sorry. But yeah, so first female director we've had in a while, and because of that I'm really looking forward to the direction of Darkwater and Death in Heaven, which is also being directed by a woman named Rachel Talalay, who also directed Freddy's Dead and Final Nightmare. But I'll get into my thoughts on the finale after this. Now, things I didn't like about In the Forest of the Night. The ending. Now, I suppose it could have been worse, but I really didn't sort of like... I mean, it was nice to see, you know, there was no real danger or anything, but... I don't really know, to be honest. I'm not really sure what on the ending because I mean it was okay, you know, but with you know, I didn't have a problem with the forest protecting humanity from the rays of the sun and all that. Although how that doesn't kick in the end of the world, I have no idea. That basically blatantly contradicts the ending to the end of the world, but I don't know. Sorry, I'm trying to think what to say. I got off not so long ago. Although I did rewatch the episode this morning. Yes. Okay, this is what I didn't like about the ending. Humanity forgets about every time there's a forest protecting their planet. How? How does humanity forget that there's, you know, I know Frank Cottrell Boyce, I know humanity forgets things, but a forest protecting their planet. No way. No. Also, the fact that Annabelle, May's sister, came back in the end, that felt a bit tacked on and with no explanation. So, yeah. But, having said that, however, there are some of the things that I did like about this episode. Like I said, the direction by Sherry Folkson. The direction throughout all of this series has been great. You know, all of the directors have done a fantastic job. So, yeah. Even bad episodes like Listen, Douglas McKinnon's still managed to make that work. Not sure whether to call Listen bad or mediocre, to be honest, but anyway. Yeah. The ending, I'm not really sure on for In the Forest of the Night. I also think Danny could have done a bit more. I mean, you know, saving them from a tiger was pretty heroic in itself. But it would have been nice if he'd have done something else as well as, you know, save them from a tiger. So, yeah. So, those are my basic thoughts, really, on, excuse me, on In the Forest of the Night. Now, there's not really much to talk about in this episode, to be honest, kind of like the Caretaker. But I think we ought to just talk about the next time trailer for Darkwater now. But first, actually not first, I'm going to give my overall thoughts on In the Forest of the Night. Overall, I thought In the Forest of the Night, it wasn't, you know, it was solid Doctor Who, but it wasn't, you know, on par with fantastic episodes like it's not as good as, say, Into the Dalek, Time Heist, Mumming on the Orient Express, Flatline, or even Deep Breath. So, yeah. However, I do think it's solid. It's better than episodes like Kill the Moon, Listen, Robot of Sherwood, The Caretaker. So, yeah. So overall, I give In the Forest of the Night 7 out of 10. It's good, but it's not great. It's just solid entertainment. It's filler, but in a good way, if you know what I mean. So, yeah. It's just an engaging watch. I was never bothered with it, but there was nothing exceptional about it either. So, yeah. Now, the next time trailer for... Now, next week I shall be giving my first impressions on Doctor Who, Darkwater and Death in Heaven Part 1, Darkwater. Now, my expectations for this series finale... First of all, the next time trailer looks friggin' brilliant. Like, the direction by Rachel Talalay looks excellent. You know, Doctor Who does Heaven and Hell. That looks absolutely fantastic. You know, it's just like, I remember watching, I was like, like, it was just nerdgasm, seriously. Also, it's nice to see Unit and the Cybermen back. However, I'm strangely optimistic about the finale, but at the same time, I don't want to get too excited for it because it's Stephen Moffat, and despite the fact that his previous finales, like The Pandora Chronicles and The Big Bang and The Name of the Doctor were good. The Wedding River Song was a terrible finale in itself. And also, even numbered series finales, none of them have been good. For Series 2, we had Army of Ghosts and Doomsday. Rubbish. For Series 4, we had The Stolen Earth and Journey's End. Abominably bad. It's just terrible. Absolutely terrible. Then for Series 6, we had The Wedding River Song, once again. Terrible. Now for Series 8, we've got Darkwater and Death in Heaven. Well, first of all, the Missy, you know, I really hope the Missy subplot actually gets an explanation, a valid explanation, and reason why it is. Missy, she's got a personality, you know, she looks like an interesting villain. She's been observing the Doctor and Clara as they've gone on. I have a feeling after Flatline that she could be the Valeyard, because, you know, she said, oh, Clara, my Clara, I have chosen well. And then, you know, in the Darkwater, next time the Doctor said, Clara, my Clara, I don't think you will. So, he still calls him his Clara. So, yeah. Either she's a brand new character, I think, or she could be the Valeyard or the Rani. So, yeah. I really... Another thing things I'm skeptical on. The two reasons why I don't want to get my hopes sky high for this story. One, it's Stephen Moffat and, you know, his scripts are either good or bad. And two, it's got Cybermen in it. Now, I love the Cybermen. I freaking adore the Cybermen. They are my favourite villains in Doctor Who without question. But they have been known to be underused in recent stories. Army of Ghosts and Doomsday, the Daleks beat the hell out of them, which I didn't like. The Next Doctor, suppose they were fairly using the Next Doctor. Closing Time ruined them. Rise of the Cybermen and the Age of Steel was good. But Nightmare in Silver, it was decent, but the Cybermen were still underused in that story, so yeah. So, and also the Time of the Doctor, the Cybermen were underused in that as well, so yeah. All the villains were used in the Time of the Doctor, but anyway. Dark Water and Death in Heaven, I have neutral expectations, like mixed expectations. I really, really hope it's good. But at the same time, it could go downhill because it's an even-numbered series finale and those seem to be cursed so far because none of them have been good. But, yeah, so this is Mrdoctorwhofan13's saying word out. I will see you next week for Dark Water.